Hello. Today's episode number 134 of the Professor Slots podcast revisits My Strategy 1, the 5-spin method. Plus, in this episode, I'll be covering the current state of slot machine casino gambling in the great U.S. state of Maryland. Thank you for joining me for the Professor Slots podcast show. I'm John Friedel, and this is the podcast about slot machine casino gambling. It is where I provide knowledge, insights, and tools for helping you improve your slot machine gambling performance. In case you missed it on my last episode, I went over whether slots are random from my weekly live stream Q&A session on YouTube. Further, I reviewed Maine slot machine casino gambling in 2021. I hope you enjoyed listening to my last episode as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Remember to visit professorslots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. Here's the audio recording of my latest live stream Q&A session. Hello, slots enthusiasts. How are you? I'm John Friedel. Welcome to Professor Slots, a channel where you learn to play slots smarter and leave the casino with your winnings. It's great to see you all here again for another Professor Slots podcast episode and live stream. If you're with us live, be sure to say hello and ask your slots-related questions. I'll check in with the live chat a little later in the show. And also special thanks to Paula if she's here. I know she was running an errand. Special thanks for Paula. She'll be here eventually for being our moderator today. Thank you, Paula. Thanks also to the many new slots enthusiasts participating in this weekly live stream or download my podcast episode. It's great to have you all here. And we have our first donation of the day from Chuck. I'll put that on the screen. Chuck says, greetings all. Sorry I can't hang today. Got to do some yard work before the rain hits. We'll catch the replay. We'll catch the replay. Yeah, I have a little yard work to do after the rain. Some things blew over. Have a great day, Chuck. Thank you so much once again. So today we're going to be diving into the reason so many of you have found me on YouTube in the last few months. Today I'll be revisiting my winning slots strategy number 1, only win immediately, but also known as my 5-spin method. And if we have enough time, it's follow-up video on how to easily test to see if your casino uses it for you to have for you to take advantage of. But first, as announced last week, pre-orders are now available for my first online course, 30 Days to Play Slots Smarter and Win. I'm pre-selling this beta version to gauge audience interest. While I'm designing the course to be leisurely taken, 1 lesson per day over 30 days, you can certainly complete one day's lesson after one lesson after another in much less time. So far, I've only shared with you here on the live stream in the podcast episode that I'm offering this self-led course. A bunch of you have already signed up for this discounted course, which is great, and I thank you if you have, but I still need more beta testers. Because it's a beta version, I'm offering my 30-day course at more than 50% off its regular price after it's improved by feedback from the beta testers. You can sign up at courses.professorslots.com. There's a link to in the description, that link in the description, but also so you can take this discounted version and also have the opportunity to suggest how the course can be improved. I take all feedback very seriously. So let me show you the course sign-up page. Let's see here. This is the main page. This is where all my online courses will show up, courses.professorslots.com. Right now I have one course there. There's going to be some that are longer and some that are going to be shorter and free, but this is my first one. So we'll talk more about the others that are coming later. But this is my entry level 30 days. And let me click on that and we'll go to its page. Now, this is basically the landing page, sales page. It has a few features in there to explain what you're going to be getting. And I wanted to just show you. It is this beta version of the course is more than 50% off, and it's $97. So it'll be almost twice. It will be a little more than twice that later, but that's after it gets set up. Okay. Right. So the course launches. One of the things I've decided is when I will be launching. So I will launch the course. It's pre-selling, pre-ordering now. That's what's available. And my big announcement today is that I will launch the course at 8 a.m. Eastern time on Friday, May 7th. Let's see. Got a lot of windows open now because I'm trying to handle so many people that we're getting to the live streams now. So this is a sign up page. And you can click here, get started now. And the course is going to launch May 7th, 2021 at 8 a.m. Eastern time. That's 40 days away, just a little over 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks, right? And so what you'll learn is winning methodologies. There is my winning strategies and some more. And so this is going to be have to have this, even though some of you may know a lot of that information from my videos, this is going to be a succinct way to put that. So I'm going to also help with providing you how to learn improved observation and overcoming the manipulation of the casino, which is really what ends up happening with you're not leaving with your winnings. Course curriculum. Now, this is in progress. This is a pre-order, and I'm trying to pre-sell it to see if there's interest. If nobody wants to buy it, then I can save some time by just not making it. But it looks like it's pretty of interest, judging by the last week of signups, just by going live. So it looks like I'll be doing it. But I do need more people to give the feedback I'm looking for in order to make this a better course at the higher price later. So the course curriculum is here. You can expand it to see some of the internals. Not all chapters are here. Not all sections are here. There's actually a couple more sections involved. I think this only goes up to day 27. So we still need to wrap it up with a few more days there. Basically, meet your instructor, price options. This is available. This is a one-time payment only. That means I can offer it payment options of a debit card and a credit card, and also PayPal. I'm considering whether or not I'll make it like a 2-month subscription, 2 payments for the later course, because it'll be $100 more. But I haven't decided on that yet. If I do that, then I lose the PayPal option of being able to offer that. So I've got some decisions to make, but that's later. Maybe the feedback will help me. Also, you'll get bonuses. You get a copy of the PDF of my Learning to Win book, which is really the story of how I learned all this, and as well as the details of what I learned. Also, gambling record templates. That's currently a $17 value. You'll need them for some of the lessons. And you also get lifetime access. So those of you who are wondering if you'll get access, if you buy the $97 version, beta version, whether you also get access to the updated non-beta version, which will cost $100 more. Yes, lifetime access, not your lifetime or my lifetime, but the lifetime of my business. And that's a $100 value. So sign up now and you get the improved non-beta version later. So I wanted to tell you about that. Let's, I think I've got a bunch of questions and some activity. Looks like Paula is being, I need to I need to give you a 10% raise, Paula. It's an old joke. Thank you. So another announcement I wanted to make is, right here at the start of the show, is for those of you watching this video recording later, after the live stream is over and done. This live stream is meant to be a community event centered around some slots related content. This community aspect doesn't come through nearly as well in the recording as it does as a live event. But some people still, watching this recording, whoops, and Magpie. Thank you, Magpie 11, for your donation. It is a super chat. She says, I signed up for the course and tested the Win First at Circa on Wednesday played 33 machines and 22 gave a test, 67%. We'll talk about what all this means if you don't know. Because of the layout of the casino, several machines were also in high visibility areas. So I'm glad that went well for you. And right. So, like I said, a lot of windows open and a lot of things to show you. So let's get back to it. But I wanted to say that if you're watching this recording later, I understand your time is precious, but for my live streams, I do something nobody expects. I provide a partial transcript after the show, which you can find in the video description below. It's a partial transcription, because it only contains what I intend to say and none of the questions and answer segments of the show. So there's still some value in watching the video, but it's an hour long, hour and 3 minutes sometimes when I go over. And your time is precious, and sometimes you just want the content. You're just here for the content. So read the transcript. You can go get through read it pretty fast, and you can skip around a bit and look at what you're interested in, because I value your time in watching this recording. But maybe the transcript will help. Now, for the podcast listeners, you have always had a transcript available for each podcast episode, all my live streams, as well as each podcast episode, which is available on the show notes page on my website at professorslats.com, followed by /episode, and then the episode number. So thank you for your patience for these announcements. I see that several of your slots questions are already coming in on the live chat. Let me do that. And I'll let those accumulate a little bit, but get to answering those in the live chat in a few minutes. So, right. Well, actually, I think there's 3 questions right now. Maybe I'll just take a moment and do that now. Pat Underhill says, "Can you please explain?" He or she posted this like an hour ago. Can you please explain how a casino can have a slot give a taste, or versus just changing the percentage of wins? So all the way back to the beginning, we had that question. So there it is on the video. Can you please explain how a casino can have a slot give a taste versus just changing the percent of wins or losses? The taste is something that's completely different from the odds. It is separate from the odds. What it is, that first win is a taste, and we'll be talking about this method that I have of going around and collecting them. That's what today's topic is about. Taste isn't about the odds of how to win on a slot machine, like all the other wins are. The taste is a feature. It's like having the one-arm bandit handle, or a pay table, or being this high or this wide. It's an element that came with the slot machine that the casino ordered. Every slot machine in the casino either has it or doesn't have it. The casino, it's like you wouldn't want to have half the casino, half the machines the casino would be illegal for the casino to have half its machines without a pay table, half with and half without. That's not fair. So if the casino wants to have taste, they have to have it on every machine. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to get a taste. There is a little bit of odds there, but each machine is set up to either have it or not. That's why I will talk today about our content, and I'll say, don't run off to the high limit room right away to try this. Try it first out on the main floor and something cheap, quarter machines, nickel machines, dime machines. It depends on what your casino has, and see if it works on those. Because if it works on those, then you can use this principle of being fair, legally fair, and go elsewhere. And if you can't win, as Magpie was just talking about, played 33 machines and 22 gave a taste, 67%. Hey, that's over half of them. And that means you've got that the casino likely has that. And so believe you me, there are times when it's 0, or 5% or 2%, there's times when it's 1 out of 100. And that means that casino hasn't chosen to do that. It was just luck that you got that one win. So, that answers Pat's question, I hope. Eddie also had a very early question. I wanted to ask, okay, so let me share it. Should be able to share it there. Hi, Eddie says, "Hi, Professor. I wanted to ask, what is the difference between a penny machine and a multi-denominational machine? Do the odds change on a penny machine when you change denominations? Thank you." Yes. The difference between a penny machine and a multi-denominational machine is, well, you can change it from a penny to something else. Usually there's kind of anything around a penny, $1, $2. You get a lot of multi-denominational machines, which are in the high limit room, which can be like $1, $2, $5, $10, $25, or just 5, 10, 20. And those machines, well, all the machines in your casino will have a theoretical payout limit. Often the state sets a legal limit, but usually it's not used by casinos because it's far too low, and the casino will set something higher as the lower limit on the theoretical payout based on what their performance metric should be. The Nevada Gaming Commission says the lower limit is 75%. The average return is pretty close to 90%, 91%, 92% sometimes for return statistics. So there's a theoretical setting, and then there's the return statistics. I try to explain this in ways that people can understand. Let's say you have a budget for the month, the coming month, for April, and you know how much you're going to spend on gas and food and this and that and entertainment, etc. And then at the end of April, you look back and you see what happened. What was your actuals? Theoretical, the budget, versus how much is left in your checking after that month, because maybe, someone got sick or flat tire or whatever. And so there's theoretical and then there's actual. And so the return on machines, whether penny machines or multi-denominational, they can change when you change denomination, not credits, but denomination. So some states will tell you what the return statistics are by slot machine denomination. Some states, a few, will tell you whether or not it was a multi-denominational machine. So they have a line item. I've gone over this in the past, and we can talk more about it if you want to. But multi-denominational machines sometimes have a line item in the return statistics, but other states like Louisiana, which has slot machine denominations, doesn't have a line item for multi-denominational machines. I hope I'm not talking over people. I'm trying to rush through these questions, but they're kind of deep questions. Anyway, because they don't have a multi-denominational line in the Louisiana return statistics, if you go look through this, and I want to thank Jan for looking this up carefully, the machine's return statistics for multi-denominational machines will go into whatever denomination was selected. So if you picked $10 or you picked, 1 penny or you picked 5 cents as denominations on a multi-denominational machine in Louisiana, all that return statistics will go into that different line item. Okay. Hopefully I don't have to answer all these questions like it takes so long. My goodness, got to get these things rolling off the tongue. Let me see. I think I saw a couple of questions here. And Kevin says, I'm in Oklahoma, so a part of the Indian Nation's casino system. Sure. Yeah, tribal gaming. So you know of any helpful particulars with this type of casino. And thanks to your channel, anxious to go try some methods out. Enjoy. A lot of people are going to the casino. Does everybody know that going to the casino has a season when it's most popular? You know what month that is? It's the month of April. Now, this year and last year being kind of strange, as far as, last year, all the casinos were closed in April. We shall see if this year's typical, but typically April is a slightly more people going to the casino as the winter ends and kids get out of school. Okay, so yes, I have articles. If you go to professorslots.com, tribal-gaming, you can find an article that talks about 11 things you need to know. 11 things you need to know. You can Google that about tribal casinos. So there's a few things there, and I need to put out more videos about it. Basically, well, tell you what, why don't you go to professorslots.com/FBOK. That's basically Facebook Oklahoma. FBOK, and sign up to join. It's free. Join the Facebook community for Oklahoma slots enthusiasts, and you guys can talk amongst yourselves. And that's a quick way to try to turn these around a little faster. I tried to do a rapid fire Q&A one time, and it was all like 10-minute answers. Yep. So, right. Richard says, why does Wind Creek Casino in Alabama have bingo boards on them? Explain why, because I have no winnings down there whatsoever. Right. Tribal casinos are allowed to have class 2 and class 3 style slot machines. Class 2, this is definitions put out by the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act of 1988 for tribal casinos only. So they are allowed to have skill-based games, which is class 2, and these skill-based games are mostly based on bingo. Some people say video poker is a skill-based game, but that's getting into details. The bingo boards are class 2 slots. Not even really slots, they're gaming machines. The ones that are called slots are class 3, and sometimes they're called Vegas style. And those are not based on the game of bingo. So these are bingo, the ones with bingo boards are class 3 gaming. And I need to provide more information on that. There is a tribal casino that is 4 hours away, 3.5 hours away from me, that has closest casino with class 2 machines, and I need to write that up more. Basically, the rules are different. Knowing whether or not you're playing class 2 versus class 3, it's two different sets of gaming regulations, and those can matter. And so that's really the beginning of the explanation. More to talk about later. Okay. Let's see. Right. So there's a question, just the last one, and then we'll get back to the topic. There's a question: does the 5-spin method apply to video poker? Yes. This is kind of what I was referring to with class 2 tribal machines. There is a class 2 non-tribal machine, which is video poker. Bingo machines don't have a lot of skill necessary to play it. You might even say, it's basically the player gets a choice, and who knows if that will be an intelligent choice or not, because there might not be enough information. Now, video poker is based on all different kinds of video poker games, and it's very helpful to have the best ideal play, they call it. And so it's highly skilled, but it's still a slot machine. So everything applies to video poker, including the 5-spin method. I haven't had much success at that. The 5-spin method, which we'll talk about, works at about 1 in 4 casinos, but the casinos that I've been going to might have 20 video poker machines and 3,000 slot machines. So it's a little hard to get good statistics on it. There was a question on that on YouTube yesterday. I don't know if that was you or not, but or was it on one of the channel? It was one on one of the communities. I have one for each state. Anyway, so I think we're kind of caught up for now. Let me get back into our topic. Thank you, Paula, for all your help so far today. Right. Yeah, so I got several questions. A year ago, January, I think it was, a year ago, January in 2020, early 2020, before the pandemic, I posted a video, and I'd written this article in 2018. It's part of what's in my book, which I wrote in 2015, but it didn't get a lot of attention. I've gotten a lot more attention on YouTube starting about 3 months ago. So hello, everybody who's found me since then. But this first video in 2020 sort of had some ways of saying things that kind of confused people just a little bit. I was getting a lot of questions. So after a year, a few months ago, and back in January, I put out another video, which basically was two videos. One was the same thing and clarifying some of the statements and answering some of the questions. And I'll talk to you about that. But then I've also made a follow-up video, which you may or may not know about. It shows right there at the end of that first video, and links are in the show notes and the video description already. So the second video was how to test for it. Like I was saying, the casino either has it or doesn't have it on all slot machines. So test on the cheap ones and then decide, bet your regular size bets later. So I had so many questions. It was such a popular video that I wanted to kind of revisit it here and give you an opportunity to ask more questions. I think I just went over a million views. A substantial number came on my YouTube channel, and a substantial number came from this video. So I thought I'd cover it here today in the live stream. Okay, so after a dozen visits within, where did I learn this? When did I get started with it? So after a dozen visits within 3 months at a local pari-mutuel racetrack with slot machines, I identified a clear pattern to winning I'd never seen before. Now, we all know about it. But at the time, I hadn't seen that before. So using it, I won 6 taxable jackpots over the next 2 months. As you should be asking yourself at this point, did I make a profit? Yes, I did. The true power of this strategy is that nearly all of its winnings are profit. How did I discover this winning slot strategy? I had help. As usual, when I first visited a new to me casino, I engaged in conversations with slot attendants and floor managers about recent jackpot winners. They told me about slot machine gamblers who had won quite a few taxable jackpots when moving from machine to machine, one taxable jackpot after another. Yes, the casino employees told me. All I had to do was listen and think through what they were saying. So this is observational skills I'll help you with in the course that I was talking to you about. So this casino had obviously set up its slot machines to perform this way for good business reasons. I saw this, it's very old, and I mentioned this maybe last week. This 5-spin method that I will talk to you about collecting tastes. I saw it in an episode of Columbo. From the 70s, a couple of weeks ago. He was on that. He was that episode where he goes on a cruise and solves a murder while on the cruise. Anyway, I was shocked. But I always learned so much from that show. So unfortunately for casinos implementing this standard casino business practice, about 1 in 4, it's easily leveraged by any savvy slots enthusiast who spots its easy to see pattern. As many of you have told me in comments, yes, I've known about this. I think I've added something to it by giving a testing procedure and clarifying everything. But yeah, it's been around for a while. So this is a pattern I saw. Every win occurred within the first few bets on a slot machine. After that first win, called a taste, I wouldn't win again for what seemed like a long time, sometimes for hours at this particular casino. I saw this behavior again and again on every slot machine I played at that casino. Now, this was Belterra Park before it was outside of Cincinnati. It's pari-mutuel racetrack. With slot machines and slots parlor, I guess you would call it. And it is been purchased by Boyd Gaming, and this is a business practice. And I haven't fully tested it since Boyd Gaming bought it, but let me get into some of the histories. So let me get into the history a little bit. One of the things is people were winning hand pays when I first saw this. Then a little while later, people 3 months later, it was only $5,000 strategy winnings jackpots at this casino, newly opened a few months before. Not 17,000. And then when I started doing it, it was 5,000. I was a little nervous. Like, am I seeing what I'm seeing? And I had to write it all down and all that. I was winning at another casino. It was very distracting. And with another method at a different casino. So this is back when I'm learning all these strategies, which I would eventually tell you. In any case, 6 months later, after first finding it, it dropped to like $500 wins. And it went down because this casino was basically the word got out and everybody was quietly just going in and winning and winning and winning. And it took 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, year and a half before it got down to being like not profitable anymore. And that can happen. So I'll talk about the strategy, but you need to see, one of the things you'll need to do is see, hey, am I making a profit? The hand pays were great. I remember when it dropped to $500 a hit, I bet it 5 times. But the fourth time I'd win $500 and I'd be like, oh, man, that's just so small. And I had to sort of say, now buck up. It paid for gas for the month and for the summer, and paid for, food for a couple of months. $500 is a lot of money, just because it's not $5,000. So I had to recalibrate, as they call it. So one of the things I wanted to show you, one of the questions that I get is, can you show this? I don't go to the video and record, but when all this was happening, when the amounts had reduced, I made one day I went and I took some recordings. So why don't I share those with you? Now I turn these into shorts. You might have seen them on my channel. Let's see. So that's a $500 win. I'm trying not to provide the audio because it, sorry, I can hear it in my ear. So 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Now, what's happening in this video, which podcast listeners can't see and you can't hear because the audio is copyrighted, I don't think you can hear it, is I'm moving from machine to machine. And this is just my little recording that I took. It's a $10 machine where I think I'm betting 2 credits, and I just spent $100 to win, what is it, 200? 20 credits. Yeah, 200. And so this is when the winnings were like, well, $100 is nice, I guess, but not hand pays. So now these are hand pays, is all later. Oh, thank you, Bruce, for the donation. I appreciate it very much. And I see it's a super chat, but is it a moment of silence that you want? He hasn't said anything, but it is very much appreciated, Bruce. Thank you. Right. So I'm going to continue to play this video, and you can see, and I apologize for the production quality, cash out, with a $200 profit, a $100 profit. That's right. $100 made $200. And so I just moved to one machine to the next. And I wanted to give you an idea what it looks like to actually do this. And while I shared some of this, some of those machines you won't win on. Some of the machines I didn't follow my own rules. It can be hard sometimes. I get excited about the near misses, and so that was a very small win, just a couple of credits. I didn't make a profit on this particular one, but the first win is the taste, and then you're done. So I wander on over to another section, so this one is showing a win. It's a $100 machine. I like to play machines that show a win. It's about the only time I play a $100 machine. It doesn't have to work every time, but it certainly can be nice. So this is actually not strategy 1. This is something else that I recommend. It's if you see a machine with a win, it can have been sitting there for days and nobody wants to play it. This is another one. So I'm mixing up some of the things. Someone want to comment in the live stream if you can actually hear the audio on this? Paul? I'll let the video play. This is Paula says I would absolutely have to wear headphones when and if I get to a casino. I hate the noises. Oh, good, excellent. I guess. Paula hasn't been to the casino. She wants me to take her sometime. She's just a close family friend. Thank you. And good. Otherwise, it's just that silence for the podcast listeners. And so there's a win right there. And move on to the next one. See, this is where I made a mistake. I'm like, why did I continue to play? But then I won anyway, so I'm sort of like, oh, maybe that's a winning machine. So I think I will share this one. I didn't already. And just talk a little bit while I'm over this. Right, so Paula, this is a high limit slots room. As many of us know, it actually is quiet. Out on the main floor, it's much louder. Okay, so here I am wandering around in the casino, just going from one to the next. And good, thank you for telling me. I'll see later if this is a good choice. Hopefully YouTube doesn't give me a strike for showing the audio. And the algorithm just heard me say that. A lot for me to do, yet to learn. So we're sort of taking a moment here. It's almost recording. Yep. So this one I didn't win anything on, but I did a few bets. And last one is this one, which I believe is really quick. So I just pulled up to it, put the money in. All right. So I made $250 on a $50 bet on that last one. And that's what collecting tastes looks like in a high limit room. This is not the test procedure on a low limit machine. This is my saying this casino does this, and I'm going to take $500 to the high limit room, and I'm going to make up to five bets on their $25 denomination, $10 denomination, maybe even their $5 denomination, whatever credits are maximum. I like to do maximum because it's in my budget. But I've had one of the first comments I got on the first version of this video, which came out in early 2020, was, you say do max bet? I mean, my casino's got a $25 a $1,000 denomination, and you want me to do maximum bet? I'm like, whoa, stay in your budget. And so that is something that I don't have too much to show in the other videos. That's my one attempt to sort of document what I had done. I never thought I'd share it with anybody, but I wanted to see that. So just to go over to the questions, can you describe what is happening with the bars? Which combinations equal a win? I will talk to you about that later, Paula. It's bars and cherries are all sort of typical. 3 in a row of the same type, like any 3 in the row of any bar is also a type. And we can talk about that later. You edited my book. I have stuff in there about that. Belterra Park in outside of Cincinnati before Board Gaming purchased it. I don't like to do $100 bets. But if I see a win on a machine, I will often make one bet. And then sometimes I, have an emotional reaction, and I might, like, for instance, when I would finish up like a 4 to 8 hour session on a $5 machine or a $10 machine, winning jackpots and all that at other casinos, I'll put $100 into the $100 machine at the end of the row that I never played before, except just before I left. And I was like, how many times have I been to a casino, and every time I put $100 in and I don't win, that's a lot of money, accumulating. Stop doing that. But now if I see a win, I saw a win on a machine on a Friday night, went in on Saturday, and it should still show the same machine, same win. And then I went in on Sunday morning, and it was still there. And I'm like, on a $100 machine, I'm going to go play it. Put my $100 in, hit the max bet button, was only 1 credit. And it came back $5,000. So I'm like, it doesn't have to work every time. And so this is just little tips and tricks. I've tried to codify all these winning strategies into this, and this, but you just saw me doing what I do, which is eventually what I want you to be able to do, which is to mix and match your strategies until you can use them kind of integrated in an integrated manner, a stratagem of multiple strategies. But to get there, first you have to learn each strategy, as I did, deeply. Just do one strategy. Just do the next strategy. Learn that one strategy. Learn that second strategy. And then you'll be able to combine them. It won't even hardly, it won't be difficult at all. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry I'm sorry to the people that I scared by doing $100 bets. Okay. I was not sitting at a machine just throwing money away. I had a reason. And I was still working off that $5,000 profit from when it did work. So this is me at a casino doing what I do. It doesn't have to be what you're doing. I apologize for those people that I show that scary. I don't typically play $100 machines, but this is what I do. Soon I'm going to casinos. I got my first dose vaccine Monday, and I'm heading back to casinos. It's been since, I think, Thanksgiving. I love this stuff, but it's not worth my life. Well, now being vaccinated and getting there, I'm setting up weekly or every other week or once a month. It depends on how far away the casinos are. Like I need to get to that nearby tribal casino 3.5 hours away to play bingo machines for you guys. But my job is to go and learn. I'm not interested in making money. I've done it. I know how much I could make. It's fine. But, if I wanted to make that much money, I'd write a book, once a year or once every 6 months. I'm interested in helping people. So you have an example of what I do when I go to the casino when I'm trying to learn for you. Okay. Yes, Kinsey, last week's live stream. That's what you need to listen to. Let's see, questions. Okay, not sure what Joseph says, not sure, but I thought you said the 5-spin method works for video poker. I've been told the cards dealt are random and you choose not to keep or discard. The example I give here, and I have an article about how video poker is a skill-based slot machine, but I don't have a video yet. The basic idea, I can see we're just going to be doing questions today. On video poker, the misunderstanding people have is like, let's say you play golf, and then you buy a video golf game, a video game based on golf. The best way to win at a video golf game, a golf video game, is to pretend it's not golf at all. Yes, video poker is based on a card game called poker. Now, it could be many different versions of poker and therefore many different versions of video poker. It's skill-based. You want to do ideal play, some odds, you let go of some cards and you do others. It's all very important. It's part of the skill when you do best at it, but it's still on a slot machine. So yes, everything you have control over is how to play the game the best possible way. There's cards for this. Bob Dancer is great about this stuff. He has practice software for you can, different plays depending on different games, which one's more probable. That's all very important, but it's not cards. It's like the roulette wheel we talked about last week, where a roulette wheel is based on physics. Oh, it's all based on physics. Is based on friction in the axle and how the ball bounces and how fast are they moving. It's all the physical universe. And that's the way it is with poker as a table game. But they've taken those rules and they put it into a machine. And so the odds are like slot machines. They can set up a taste. They can set up what the theoretical payout is, all those things. So people don't think they have any control over, you have control over learning the game used in your video poker machine. Please do. You're letting go of winning odds by not doing the best you possibly can, called ideal play. But people don't think, people go into casinos and think it's just luck. And it's not. I mean, luck is part of it. We talked about this for an hour last week. Luck is part of it, but the amount of marketing that goes on in a casino, the amount of manipulation that goes on in a casino, the big exciting displays and all of that. We've talked about this. That's under the casino's control. And if you look at it the right way, you can start making observations about, how's that happening? How's that happening? These are not fully, I gave this explanation last time. There's random, what people think is random, and then there's actually weighted averages, which is a random process. And we need to give you a little bit of statistics background in order to be able to take advantage of casinos. Right. We spent an hour on that last time. Have I ever seen I want to make sure I share this. Have I ever seen a jackpot hit back to back? Yes. That's one of the, I like the idea. Slots are so complicated. I don't know if people realize it's quite so complicated. Some people say if I go to a high limit room, and I have a preference, I know, but if you play on a slot machine and you win, the thing to do to succeed is to immediately leave. And that's great advice, except if it's a winning machine, then maybe you shouldn't leave. So maybe you stay, and being able to evaluate the difference and choosing how much of your bankroll that you just won that you might risk before putting the rest in a lockbox. That's all part of what I'll be discussing in the course to help you leave with your winnings. Right. So yes, I've seen it many times. That's only because I stayed and played. I've had plenty of people say, okay, that's it. It gave up what it was going to give up. And I'm like, what? No, it's a winning machine. Why would I stop playing it? Okay. Just way of thinking through this. Another question. I'm going to just answer questions, I think. Are the single line, I will answer questions. The videos that I was revisiting, those links to those videos are in the video description. And so please watch them, study them, frankly. So Ewing says, are the single line order slots more profitable? No. The thing is, it depends on how you mean that. If you are at a casino which has modern slot machines and single line older slots, there is no difference. The difference is the newer ones have a video screen and the older ones have physical reels and lines. The internal electronics of the older slots, physical reels, all that was scraped out. All that was opened up. They just cut it all out and they replaced it, reinserted the same electronics which are on the video machines, only not to run a video screen, but the physical reels. And everything about that is modernized. So there is no two versions of slot machines in a casino, which has the modern large screen video and the physical reel. They're all all the electronics is the same, except the ones with the video screens have to have the electronics to run a video screen. Okay. I've been meaning to do kind of like an open question. Does this strategy work in Las Vegas? Yes, I've gotten reports that it does. I heard Paris. See, I'm not trying to keep track. People report back in on like Casino Slots Enthusiast Facebook community, professorslots.com/FBNV, and replace NV with whatever your state's two letter designation is, and you can go there, or just professorslots.com/FB will give you the full alphabetical list. They report back there with their winnings. And one of the things they said was Paris is where one of those. But I also know other people that are trying to do a better job. I have this person in California who has told me that they have gone to every tribal casino in California, which is a lot. And they said it's 1 in 4. Now, I'm not, sending out people with clipboards and training them on a procedure. Nor am I recording which casinos are reported to have this, because it's just people telling me stuff. So, I've heard the strategy work at some casinos in Las Vegas, but I'm not keeping track which ones. Besides which, if it goes under new ownership, the casino business practices are under the purview of the new management and whether they keep it or not. So I like to reassess casinos every year. So that's, yes, to answer your questions. Let's see. I will share what Magpie shared. I had a consult session with fascinating and enjoyed that. And we discussed January odds from the Nevada Gaming Board. Check your gaming board to see the denomination payouts. I plan on visiting all Nevada casinos to test this method. I didn't want to share that unless she was willing to. Okay. Is there a winning difference between the bingo slots and the gambling slots? No, they're set up on 2 different gaming regulations. So it's not certain if one is better than the other, but they are based on 2 different sets of gaming regulations. So if you're having trouble with slots, try the bingo slots. And it's like completely different. You don't even have to go to, it's like going to a different casino. The side of things with class 2 bingo slots at tribal casinos and the side of things with class 3 Vegas style slots, it's like 2 different things. So you can start again without leaving your casino. Paul says, I have learned so much from your video and bought your book. Thank you. Thank you for buying the book. Let's see. Why is it all fuzzy? Yes. Yes. Sorry, David. Why is it all fuzzy? The videos were not done professionally. I was just using my phone. I don't even think I had the high resolution setting, and it wasn't, this was a couple of years ago, not very many years ago, but a couple of years ago when the resolution wasn't that great. I did say it wasn't that, pardon me for the quality. Let's see. Let's see, we have other questions. Let's see. Chuck says, so you believe in backup spins after a big bonus round? I do after 2 back-to-back bonus backup spins. It's always good to have a plan. If you win something, I suggest 1 more bet, possibly 2, possibly put some of that winnings away. I have it all sort of like mapped out, depending on how much you won. If you won $27,000, I did that once. I didn't leave. So my advice would be get out, just get out. And, but if you win like $500 and you're like, well, I came in with $500, maybe I put half of that in my wallet, or maybe I put all of that in my wallet. And that would be my rule there, would be put it all in your wallet if you've got, plenty left on what you brought in, and just, that way you break even minimum. So, yeah. Thank you, Mike. Mike says, spot on, Professor, with your theories. I used to work for Aristocrat as a field engineer. There are some people who work for casinos and slot manufacturers who disagree, but then I asked them, what is their job? And they weren't a field engineer. They were like, well, I design games. And I'm like, so it's not your job to work with odds. And they're like, what? I used to develop inspections for jet engines. Don't ask me to fly the plane. Hope that sometimes I come up with good things. Can't thank you enough for the recommendation, Steve says. Also, the 5 spins I found to work. I've been cashing out and removing my player's card and repeating. Yep. We all have a... Right. So, Humble, I just joined the room, and could you briefly explain? All right. So we get this huge increase of people who show up about halfway through the live stream. So they miss the first half. So I kind of have to repeat things. But in the video description, probably the reason why you're here is because you saw my video on the 5 spin method, 5 pull method, only win immediately, winning strategy number 1. There's a bunch of different names for it. In the video description is a link to both the video of how that strategy 1 5 spin method works, as well as a follow-up video about how to test to see if your casino has the business practice required in order to be able to collect taste to do this. And so that's what we're talking about, strategy 1. Let's see. AK, nice to see you. Came here late, but we'll rewatch in its entirety before hitting the casino night with friends. Whoop, whoop, show me the money. Always a lot of energy from AK. Do you think staying in one machine is the right thing to do? Often it is. There's a lot that goes into it. Is your casino very busy, and is your machine on the end of a row near a busy area? Also, you don't have to leave a machine if it's not working. What you can do is pull out your player's card, withdraw, use the voucher to cash out, wait 30 seconds, and put your card back in, and if you're using one, and your money back in, and see what the odds are now. All casinos except most riverboat casinos have a central server which updates the odds, and it needs somebody to not be on the machine. And if you do that, you don't have to go to another machine. I've had some people who come up to me and say, why is it that when I get up from a machine and I go over to another machine and I look back and somebody sits down on the machine I was just sitting at and they win the big jackpot? That's very upsetting. And I said, well, why don't you? There's no sensor in the chair. It's is your card in the machine? Is there money in the machine? Take both out, wait 30 seconds. And now the odds may get updated to being worse or the same. But it could also get better. And then you don't have the difficulty sleeping at night going, that person just walked right up there and just went on one of my machine. I had somebody run, hurry past me and kind of whisper in my ears. They walked by while people were around me were watching me win in high limit slots. And he says, that was my jackpot. That was my machine. And, I'm just like, geez, is there a dagger in my back or something? So it can be very, very upsetting. Jason, hello. Only a couple minutes left. What do you expect your online training to be ready? Right. So earlier today, I talked about my online course, and I am sharing it here. It is courses at courses.professorslots.com. It will launch in 40 days, 15 hours, 3 minutes, and 27 seconds. Jason, is that exact enough for you? I haven't looked at how many people are here. Thank you for pointing it out. Oh, good Lord. Apologies. We are exceeding what we've done before. It's just amazing to me. 1,444 playbacks, 202 concurrent members, which means average duration of 4 minutes. And this has been an hour. So we're probably looking at about 2,000 people who've come by for a few minutes. Every time it's getting bigger. I'm making Paula work for it. I need to pay her someday. She's volunteering at the moment. Right. So May 7th, 2021, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, Jason. Okay, what happens at the end of these live streams is a lot more people start showing up. And that's when the questions come in fast and furious. We've got 2.5 minutes left. Michael says, so taking out your card and voucher increases your odds. No, it changes the odds. If it's on a schedule with the central server to be changed, it gives it the opportunity. They like to not change it while you're playing. So if you take your cash out and you take your card out, then you give it an opportunity to change, and maybe it will. And that's what happens. Sometimes people sit down on the machine that other people win. So it might get worse. It might get better. If you're on a machine and it's like terrible odds, how likely is it to get worse? Every way is up. So it could increase it if it's terrible. Okay. There's a question, I think, online. I don't have any advice for playing online. It's unregulated for the most part, but it's growing hugely. We really, if you are looking for a company to play, I would go to the UK. They have websites there. It's whole businesses based around which is the best site to play on. They evaluate them under like 10 different criteria: honesty, this, that, and the other thing. First thing to do is just find a company that won't cheat you, and most of them will. So after that, it just becomes maybe the taste method works. I've heard some, but none of my other strategies work. Let's see. I'm going to close that. Can you win big at gas stations or private owned slots, or is it best to go to an actual casino? I like actual casinos because it's all up and up. I had a call the other day. I have a Google Voice number. It's on my bottom of my website. You can call me. And someone called me and said, I'm waiting for the gas station to pay me out. Do you think they will? It's supposed to be like $27,000. What? No, $2,100. $21,000, something like $20-something thousand. And I haven't heard back from them, but it had like a 408 because the attendant couldn't do it. Had to be the owner. I hope so. If it's illegal, do they have to? It's can be tough and sometimes when it's illegal, that means it's a gray area where there's no law against it, but there's no law allowing it. And that's what you see a lot of times in different states. Okay. I can't get to every question. Earlier they asked, the more likely it is it's going to get in here. I want to double check to make sure if you've joined my membership, if next to my subscribe button is a join and you get priority, getting your questions answered. And I think I have gone through I got Jason and I got a few others, I think. Let's see, Magpie. They're all members, so I answer them first. And so if you want to be a member and you want to get priority on asking these questions, getting your questions answered, then join the membership. That's the easiest way to get to the front of the line. Right. I think we are getting close to done. One last announcement, which is, I didn't get through everything I wanted to do, but as you know, there are several major holidays coming up starting tomorrow through the end of next week. Therefore, I will not be offering a live stream next week over Easter. I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday. Thanks for a great show. If you're listening on the podcast, stick around and we'll be moving into the next segments of the show. And as always, have fun, be safe, and make good choices. Bye, everybody. Thanks. Remember to visit ProfessorSlots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. This is the next segment of the show on slot machine casino gambling. Here I provide a brief overview of the current state of gambling in a U.S. state, territory, or the federal district, emphasizing by far anything of interest to slot machine casino gamblers. Up next is Maryland slot machine casino gambling in 2021. Here goes. Maryland slot machine casino gambling consists of 6 casinos with video lottery terminal, VLT, slot machines. Cruise ships traveling to international waters offer onboard gambling options. The minimum legal gambling age in Maryland depends upon the gambling activity. For land-based casinos and poker rooms, it's 21. For bingo, the lottery, and parimutuel wagering, it's 18. The minimum gambling age is 18 for international cruises shipping out of the Port of Baltimore. In 2008, Maryland voters approved having slot machines at 5 locations. This constitutional amendment included a licensing and regulatory legal framework for casino operators, employees, and contractors, as well as specifying where to allocate state gaming income tax revenue. In 2012, Maryland voters further approved a gaming expansion bill allowing table games at Maryland's casinos, as well as a 6th casino. This last gambling license, awarded in December 2013, resulted in MGM National Harbor's opening 3 years later. Next up is a usually short statement about slot machine private ownership, which I have included in case you live in this U.S. state and are considering owning a slot machine. Here it is. It is legal to own a slot machine in Maryland privately if it is 25 years old or older. The State Gaming Commission is Maryland Lottery and Gaming Control Agency. The agency oversees gaming regulations compliance, employee background checks, the day-to-day operation of machines at each casino, offers casino revenue reports to the public, and more. In this section, I'll discuss Maryland gambling establishments. Maryland has 6 commercial casinos, no tribal casinos, and several vacationing cruise ships to international destinations out of the Port of Baltimore. The largest casino in Maryland is Live Casino Hotel Maryland with 2,772 gaming machines in February 2021. The second largest casino is MGM National Harbor with 1,636 gaming machines. Maryland has 6 commercial casinos. As usual, when there are too many casinos to mention here, a complete list along with a casino map are on my webpage for this state at professorslots.com/MD. Maryland has no tribal casinos because it has no federally recognized American Indian tribes. As an alternative to enjoying Maryland slot machine casino gambling, consider exploring casino options in a nearby state. Bordering Maryland is to the north, Pennsylvania, to the east, Delaware, to the south, Virginia, to the west, West Virginia, and the District of Columbia. To visit any of my articles on these U.S. states, simply visit professorslots.com, followed by its 2-letter postal designation. For example, my Pennsylvania slots article is available at professorslots.com/PA. Are you interested in sharing and learning with other slots enthusiasts in Maryland? If so, join our Maryland Slots community on Facebook at professorslots.com/FBMD. All you'll need is a Facebook profile to join this private Facebook group freely. There, you'll be able to privately share your slots experiences as well as chat with players about slots gambling in or near Maryland. Again, use this convenient link I've created to go directly to our group on Facebook, professorslots.com/FBMD. Join us. Maryland has set minimum and maximum theoretical payouts of 87% and 100% averaged over the lifetime of each VLT gaming machine. However, VLTs set to have a theoretical payout between 95% and 100% must have written approval from the State Gaming Commission. On average, a casino cannot have its VLTs to collectively exceed 95%. While Maryland offers individual casino revenue reports, there is insufficient information to calculate player win percentage or other return statistics. In summary, Maryland slot machine casino gambling consists of VLT-style slot machines at 6 casinos. Otherwise, cruise ships offer slot machines when sailing out of the Port of Baltimore to international destinations. Over the last year, there has been no significant changes in the slots gaming industry in Maryland. Remember to visit professorslots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. Part 1 of the next episode of the Professor Slots podcast has not yet been determined. I haven't yet determined whether I'll be releasing a podcast episode next weekend on Easter weekend, especially given that there will be no live stream on YouTube that weekend. Remember, my weekly Q&A session on YouTube is on Saturdays from noon until 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Bring whatever slots questions you have, and I'll do my best to answer them. An easy-to-remember link to my YouTube channel is youtube.com/ProfessorSlots. Feel free to stop by anytime during my hour-long live Q&A session. Part 2 of the next episode of the Professor Slots podcast is another brief overview of the current state of gambling in a U.S. state, territory, or the federal district. Next time, I'll be talking to you about the great U.S. state of Massachusetts. That's the end of another great episode of the Professor Slots podcast. Thanks so much for listening. Show notes for this episode are on my website at professorslots.com/episode 134. I plan to have the next episode come out very soon for you, where I'll have more amazing content for the show. Until the next episode, have fun, be safe, and make good choices. Bye.